I'm about to expose the biggest lie you were ever taught in history class. We all learned that Columbus discovered America in 1492, right? Wrong. He landed on islands that were already home to a vibrant civilization. They were the Taino, and for 500 years, the world believed they were completely wiped out. But what if I told you that was a lie? It's like being told a star has vanished, only to find out it was hiding behind a cloud the whole time. This is the story of a people who were declared extinct, but never actually disappeared. And before we continue, if you enjoy uncovering hidden and dramatic moments in history, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment below. It helps us bring you more stories like this one. To understand this story, we have to go back in time, way back. The Taino didn't just appear in the Caribbean. Their journey started in South America, along the Orinoco River. Then, around 400 BC, they started one of the most epic migrations ever. We don't know why. Maybe war, maybe they were just looking for an upgrade. But they decided to sail into the open sea. These guys were master navigators. They built these massive canoes, some holding over 100 people, and just sailed into the open ocean. They weren't just floating around. They used the stars to navigate hundreds of miles, like having an ancient GPS written in the night sky. And we know this is true because of the trail of insane pottery they left behind. They literally island-hopped their way north. It was like playing a real-life video game, where each island was a new level to upgrade their skills. By 250 AD, they reached the massive islands of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and Cuba, and this is where their civilization exploded. Modern DNA tests prove this whole story, linking the Taino directly to people in South America today. It's like finding a family tree written in our very cells, confirming an ancient journey everyone thought was just a myth. This wasn't an accident. It was one of the most incredible settlement journeys in human history. They found their paradise, and for the next 1,000 years, they would build a world unlike any other. I want you to picture this. You step into a Taino village 1,000 years ago. You are not seeing a few random huts. You are seeing a massive organized city, sometimes with thousands of people, built around a giant plaza where they played an insane ball game. Their houses were so well built they could survive hurricanes. Their society was crazy organized. At the top was a chief or cacique. But get this. Power wasn't always passed from father to son. It was often passed down through the mother's side, like a royal crown passing from a king to his sister's son, showing just how central women were to their society. Below them were nobles and priests, and then everyone else. The island of Hispaniola alone had at least 5 huge chiefdoms. There were so many people, maybe close to 1 million. But here's the most mind-blowing part: how they fed everyone. They invented these incredible farming mounds called conucos. These weren't just garden beds. They were like nature's own self-fertilizing factories, designed to be super sustainable and prevent erosion. Their main food was yucca, which is poisonous unless prepared perfectly. This was like high-stakes chemistry. They had to master a complex process to remove the poison, turning a deadly plant into a life-sustaining bread that lasted forever. This genius farming meant they had so much food. They had tons of free time for art, religion, and just living. They worshipped gods called semis, which they carved into these insane figures. They had built a true paradise, but that paradise was about to be destroyed. On December 6, 1492, Christopher Columbus shows up. For the Taino, it was like aliens had just landed. For Columbus, it was a gold mine of people he could exploit. "I am not making that up," he wrote in his journal, that they should be good servants. This was a total disaster. The Spanish were obsessed with gold, something the Taino only used for decoration. When Columbus came back, it wasn't for a friendly visit. It was a full-blown conquest. They built the first European town in the Americas, La Navidad, on Hispaniola. What happened next is one of the most brutal things you'll ever hear. The Spanish forced every Taino over 14 to bring them gold. If they failed, the punishments were unthinkable, like having their hands chopped off. Then came the encomienda system, which was basically slavery gift-wrapped in legal paperwork. The Taino were forced to work themselves to death in mines. If anyone tried to fight back, Their leaders were publicly executed to scare everyone else. But the most insane weapon wasn't swords, it was disease. For 2 decades, war and slavery destroyed their population. Then smallpox hit. The first outbreak in 1518 was like an asteroid strike, killing up to 1/3 of everyone who was left. Their entire civilization collapsed. Their population on Hispaniola dropped from nearly 1 million to just 60,000 by 1507. And just like that, history books said, the Taino are extinct. For 500 years, that was the story. But I'm here to tell you, it's wrong. The Taino never disappeared, and I'm about to show you the proof. First, check out these words: hurricane, barbecue, tobacco, hammock. Every single one of those is a Taino word you use all the time. Their language is literally all around you, but their survival goes so much deeper. When their society was being destroyed, many Taino escaped to the mountains and kept their culture alive. At the same time, because there weren't many Spanish women, Spanish men started families with Taino women. These women became like cultural time capsules, secretly carrying the Taino world forward by passing their traditions, their food, and their genes to the next generation. For decades, nobody took this seriously. But now, we have undeniable scientific proof. Think of your DNA as a history book. For 500 years, everyone thought the Taino chapter had been ripped out and burned. But in a game-changing 2018 study, scientists sequenced the entire ancient genome from a 1,000-year-old tooth and proved the pages were never destroyed. They were just copied into the family trees of people today. They found that people in Puerto Rico have, on average, 10–15% Native American ancestry directly from the Taino. It's also in the DNA of millions of Dominicans and Cubans. They weren't wiped out. Their bloodline is alive. This scientific discovery is huge. All across the Caribbean and the world, people are now reclaiming their Taino identity. Organizations are working to revive their traditions, their language, and they are demanding that the world knows the truth. So the story of the Taino isn't just a sad history lesson. It's an absolutely epic story of survival. It's like a great forest fire that everyone thought destroyed everything. But the seeds of survival were buried deep in the soil, and from those ashes, a new forest is growing. Their legacy is everywhere, in the music, the food, and literally in the DNA of millions. The Taino world was shattered, but the people were not erased. Their story was just silenced, and now, it's finally being told. If you believe more stories like this need to be told, hit that subscribe button and share this video. What part of this story blew your mind the most? Tell me in the comments below.